Hey guys, welcome to R.E.A.L.VR with ReaperzVR. This week I'm going over Far Cry 6. So if you haven't gotten Luke Ross's R.E.A.L.VR mod yet, you really need to check it out. So look at this. Seriously, look at how stunning Far Cry 6 looks. Now this is running at maximum on an RTX 4090, but you should be able to get away with running it on a 3070 Ti or above, anything with 12 gigs or more RAM. I really wouldn't recommend running it on anything less though. Now, I did experience some visual glitches initially as I have in other games with the R.E.A.L.VR mod, but I've recently fixed that issue. I started using a dedicated link cable instead of wirelessly connected to my PC. After being hardwired in, everything was beyond what I was seeing before. And this is the same for Cyberpunk and Indiana Jones. In my previous videos for them, you could clearly see the pixelation around moving characters and objects. And since using the link cable, all those issues have now gone and they look so much better than I have previously shown. So I apologize for the poor quality visuals in those videos. The gameplay is flawless in VR, albeit without motion controller support. You can play with either keyboard and mouse or play with a game controller. I use an Xbox wireless PC controller and I don't even miss using motion controllers at all. The vehicles and horses in this game are probably some of the best experiences I've had in VR, along with the healing mechanics. There is just so much fun to be had being fully immersed inside this game. Now, while you don't need any additional mods to make the game work, the cutscenes are extremely janky, and I recommend downloading the uncapped frame rate for cutscenes mod from Nexus Mods and installing it with the Far Cry mod installer, and I'll add links to them in the description below. And before installing the R.E.A.L.VR mod, make sure you've previously loaded the game at least once. If you don't already have the mod, you will need to be a member of Luke Ross's Patreon page for a minimum of 1 month to access it. On Luke's Patreon page, there will be a pin post with the latest version of the mod. Go ahead and download that to anywhere on your PC. Once downloaded, you can extract the file in the same location. Then, once extracted, copy everything within that folder, then open the installation folder of Far Cry 6. I'm using Steam, so right-click the game, go to Manage, then browse local files. The R.E.A.L.VR mod needs to be installed in the same folder where the game exe is located. For Far Cry 6 on Steam, it's located in the bin folder. Paste the R.E.A.L.VR mod files here, then run the real config file. It will install automatically if you haven't installed it previously, and then press any key to continue. Once that's done, you can now open the game from within VR. Once loaded, you get the R.E.A.L.VR pop-up. Set it to whatever key you want to open and close it with. With the R.E.A.L.VR settings open, you'll need to set your target pixel resolution according to your GPU. I have mine set to 23, which is a resolution of around 3000 by 3000. This is something you may need to experiment with. You can go up more, but once you start seeing it become laggy and jittery, you can then start setting it lower until you find the right resolution for you. Once you've selected your target pixels, hit adapt resolution, then close that overlay and go to the game settings. Your monitor settings should be set to Borderless, and then change your display resolution to the one you've just selected in the R.E.A.L.VR settings. Everything else needs to remain the same. In the quality tab setting, I have everything set to Ultra with HD textures on. This is also something you'll need to play around with depending on your GPU. Make sure the motion blur is off and all the extended features are also turned off. In the advanced setting tab, make sure everything is off with the field of view set to 90 and the resolution scale set to 1.0. You can play around with the field of view to find what works best for you, but do not change the resolution scale here. Only set the resolution from within the R.E.A.L.VR overlay and monitor settings. After dialing in the settings for my 4090, this game runs the smoothest out of all the 3 games that I've tried so far. I highly recommend Far Cry 6 with Luke Ross's R.E.A.L.VR mod. If you want me to cover a specific game from the R.E.A.L.VR mod list, leave a comment below, but I do plan on covering all the games that are compatible eventually. Until next time, have fun gaming.